How you gonna do? Okay.
You.
Yo. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Hey, this is kind of nice. Oh, I like being on the mic. All right. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Descendants. You can call me Adesala. You can call me a day at the end of the week. It's kind of like either one of them. I'm sorry that I'm late. I'm sorry. Thank you. What's your name?
Abdullah.
Abdullah, thank you so much. Abdullah said I'm good, so I'm actually good. Now I feel my flight was a little bit later than I actually planned for it to be for work and all of that gone away. But really, this conversation I want to have with you guys, it's like it's not a lecture. You know what I'm saying? I'm not really trying to do no lectures. I know you guys have probably sat through a lot of lectures already, and you're tired of it, you're bored of it. This is more of a conversation. Just like leave it to the next slide. So like I said, it's not a lecture, this is more like a page from a journal. I'm trying to have us have like a real conversation for real, person to person, descendant of Offa to descendant of Offa, and really talk about what we want. Because I don't think we get asked about what we actually want. I don't think we all know what we want for that very reason. So I think this is an opportunity for us to like talk. So this is gonna also be kind of interactive. I hope you guys are ready for that. I'm gonna kind of involve you a little bit. And I'm gonna kind of just speak my truth, for lack of a better word. Can you go next to them? My name is Kadri. I was raised in Maryland. I'm 30, old, very old. It don't feel good. It's okay. Actually, 30 is great. 30 is great. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. I'm currently living in Philadelphia. I work as a bioinformatics scientist during the day. And after that, one of my main hobbies and passions is film talk. So I do videography and I write Afrofuturist stuff, blah, blah, blah. I'm on quite the journey to get to where I am today. I'm very happy. Let's go next slide. So, some things I've asked myself, you know, because as you guys may not know you guys may not know, but my dad is Dr. Adeboye. He was one of the presidents of ODUNA for quite some years. And you guys know about K-Sang? Anybody know K-Sang? Put your hands up if you know what K-Sang is. No. Okay. Kwara is a state within Nigeria. Kwara is a city within Kwara. So Kwara State is just like ODUNA, or Kwara K-Sang is just like ODUNA. It's another descendants of a particular place in Nigeria. They've come to the US and they're trying to make a community for themselves. So my dad was president of that too. All that to say, from a very young age, me and my family and my siblings, visualizing that too, as siblings who can make it today. And we've been involved. You know, we've been really close to these organizations, these communities, and we see what it takes to actually make sure they work. There's a lot of work. And so right now, I want you guys to know that there is a fear. There is a fear in ODUNA, there's a fear in K-Sang. What do you guys think you're most afraid of?
Like other people from together?
No, thank God. Yeah? Sorry. Huh? Yeah, we think ODUNA and K-Sang are afraid of. There are all these diasporic grassroots organizations. Go ahead.
Like,
Being forgotten. What do you mean by that?
going bankrupt.
That every organization has to do it. That's true. But I want to go a little into being forgotten. What do you mean by that?
They disappeared. They disappeared.
They disappear.
Wait.
Who disappears?
Ooh. Yeah.
You're getting very close to ground. I saw some other hands up. Was there another hand up? Yeah. You both are kind of linked into what I think these organizations are afraid of. They're afraid of not existing. Because at some point, we're all going to get a lot of work. Inshallah, they're with us for a very long time, but they will eventually pass away, like all our ancestors do. And the worry of a lot of immigrants, not just Nigerian immigrants, not just Offa immigrants, but immigrants that come to the US, is that their children are not ready to take the culture, the heritage to the next step. I had that for myself too, right? When I was growing up, my robot's not that good. And I asked myself, well, what am I going to do when I have kids? Am I going to be able to teach them the robot? And then all these different heritage, parts of our heritage, the compound that we're from, even why Offa is called Offa. Who knows why Offa is called Offa? Go ahead.
Because ODUNA. No.
Yes.
Because people are very complicated.
But why did they do that?
Because you should know
That's not how language works.
I'm not sure, but you consider river or like, I did something about like the geography of the
Sort of, kind of. There's an old story about an arrow hunter. I don't even know all that. Well, to be honest, it's kind of the problem. Offa also means arrow. It also means arrow. And that arrow holds a lot of sentimental value in the history and heritage of Offa. So we don't know that. I just found that out 6 months ago. That's kind of scary. Because one day I'm going to have my parents to ask, what does this mean? What does that mean? One day I want my grandma to ask. My grandma has kind of losing her memories. So it's very important for me to talk to her today. So the biggest fear that these organizations have is that they will be forgotten, that the heritage will be lost, that we won't be able to, channel it in the future when they're gone. That ODUNA will no longer exist. And that's why they do programs like this, these youth programs, because they're fiercely trying to make sure that doesn't happen. There is a schism. There's a generational schism. Now, who here had a say in anything you did today? Who here had any say in what you did today? Okay, lawsuits? Good. That is, I think less than 10% of the entire room. That's a problem. So it's a little hard for you to be invested when you don't He bought his own ticket. Remember what I said about hours, money, and how each minute, each dollar that you put into something is something you're investing in? That kind of told me that, yo, this is actually real. When I told him about what I'm trying to do, he's like, that's amazing. I want to be a part of that. So remember to value this stuff that you guys are taking for granted, other people value it like it's kindness. We met with a couple of an organization called JEI, Justice Empowerment Initiative. They're based in Vegas. And I really up their website actually. These guys are incredible. They do advocacy via documentary and short form film in Vegas for people that are struggling within the city. So these are people that are going through climate change, where the water's going high, they can no longer fish. These are people that are getting attacked by their government. So unfortunately, the Nigerian government, I'm gonna say this on camera, Nigerian government is kind of trash, actually. They treat their own people very badly, in very bad ways. And so they document that too. So I got connected to them through like a mutual friend. And they worked with us. They were translators, they worked with the audio, they did a whole lot of stuff. And these are stills that were actually shot by my friend Toby while he was also being director of photography. That's my sister at DLL. That's my dad as I was filming and interviewing him. This is us around Offa itself. And then that's me. That's one of the women that we spoke to. She was a patient there. So this experience was kind of tricky. I don't know if you guys have this experience, but shooting a film is very, 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 very hard. Very, very hard, especially when this is in a country you've never done something like this before. So it's very difficult. And it was an emotional and physical, taxing endeavor. But throughout all of it, you know what I heard the most? How much people love Offa. I'm not even kidding. I would get somebody, because the way this works, the medical mission works, is that, these people are at the gate. They open the gate at like sunrise, like 8 a.m. They let them inside, and they stay under these tents. It's hot. It's Nigeria hot, So they're under these tents waiting and waiting. And these are people that don't get access to healthcare, period, throughout the day, throughout the year. They get diabetes, they've never had insulin. They get heart disease, they haven't had anything to lower their blood pressure until they. You know what I mean? So they're willing to wait hours to split the service. They finally come, and I would pick, me and my team, pick some of them, be like, can we speak to you? We just want to hear about the story. So remember, these guys have been waiting for a while, right? They sit down, and they're like, I love it. And I'm not even kidding, I had to almost beg them to stop. They're talking for 20 minutes. I have the files to prove it. They're chatting us up. All about the compound they're from, how much Offa loves these people, how much Offa cares about these people. And as I'm talking to them, I'm like, oh, this is why Dad does what he does. This is why ODUNA does what they do. They actually are from the mud, bro. They came from this drain. They love this place. And so that experience was my answer to those questions I brought before you. But just I'll go back a slide. So these were my questions. And that was how I decided to answer. It had a lot to do with ODUNA, but also not that much to do with ODUNA. They didn't ask me to do this. I had a thought and demand the way I saw I could do this. It was a selfish reason. I didn't think it was good to document it. I did it for a reason. I wanted to answer these questions for myself. And I think this is where we're getting to the interactive. I saw some of you guys got sleepy eyes. Yeah, no, we won't chat. Yeah. This is what I need you guys to ask. Not for ODUNA, but for themselves. And I think if we each start asking this question, then this actually becomes something kind of useful. Rather than feeling forced here, you'd be like, I did tell them I'm trying to work on this thing. And I know that this one said that he's got this connection. I gotta check this about this. Or, this is what I want for my sense of heritage in 10 years, in 20 years. And the only way that happens is I keep coming to these. Also, we don't have, there are not too many, we don't gotta come to these. We can do our own thing for real. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But the truth of the matter is, we have to come to some conclusion on what we want from this, right? So, we're gonna start going around. And we're gonna start answering these questions. So I want everybody in this room is gonna get a chance to answer in their own words what they feel, who they feel they are as a descendant of Offa and of Nigeria. Judge Rose, you wanna go first?
Can I go second?
No, that's kind of too much. I wanna give it like a, we can go like this. So we're gonna go like this. You wanna start from my side? You wanna start from my side? Are you okay going first? No. Then I'm sorry, I cannot do that. Well, now we're gonna start from this side. It's gonna be okay. We're gonna start. Judge Law, my little sister. My little sister. Oh, go first one. You ready to go? Okay.
So it's,
So the
who am
question
I as a
is,
descendant?
who do you feel you are as a descendant of Offa, as a descendant of Nigeria?
Well, I don't know. I think this is like one part of my identity I haven't really explored as much as I would like to. But I think I know my importance in this place, if that makes sense. Knowing that like showing up is just as important as like, I don't know, like actually being the lecturer and all that. So I think like as a descendant, I am like a figure. I don't know how to explain it, but like when somebody asks me where I'm from, I always say Nigeria first, and like there's a reason for that. And I don't know. I think as a descendant, I try my hardest to represent Offa in Nigeria and educate people because well, Americans don't know that much, and sometimes you just have to be that person. So I don't know. I try. I don't ride elephants to school, which is something I have to explain to people all the time because. Yeah, there's cars in Africa, big deal, you know. But yeah, like I just try and educate and be proud of my heritage.
Okay, my friend. Oh yeah. I'll leave to you. Bit by bit. First off, what's your name? Okay, yes, come on. Come on, please. 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 What do you need to do? A couple push-ups?
She wants to go first.
She wants to go first?
Yeah, she goes.
Yeah. What's your name?
My name is Shukra.
Say it again.
Shukra.
Okay, and what is your answer to number one? Who are you as a descendant of one? There's no wrong answer.
I'm like Nigerian. Yeah. I'm very Nigerian. So, my parents are from Nigeria. No, I'm from Nigeria.
Wow.
Okay, so I'm still from there, still from my blood, but my parents are Nigerian. They want comfort, right? So like, my friends like, as a citizen of Offa, like, I'm very possibly Nigerian. Even though I don't really express it as much. Every single time, like I actually said, if someone asks me where I'm from, I'm always gonna say Nigeria because I'm very proud that I will never be ashamed of that. And I grew up in a place that's very accepting of it. And also, like she said, explain to people how Nigeria isn't like that, like isn't as bad as what people say it is. It's kind of stressful, but yeah.
All right, that's a good answer. All right, name and answer. Oh yeah. Scott.
And mine was the first question is, as someone who's actually like lived in Nigeria for a while, till I was 8, and I've actually been to Offa, I find it to be like a wonderful place with wonderful people. And my grandmother actually resides in Offa right now. And so I try as much as possible to be sort of like a mirror to other people here in the United States, and be a representative because I know people who are from Offa but have never been there. And I just want to be some type of person who's gonna show the good side of Offa and like how welcoming and how wonderful it truly is to be someone from Offa. So I guess that's
That's a good answer. Yeah. And it's very interesting. So if you've lived in Nigeria or you've been to Nigeria, please let us know in your own way if it comes out to one of these other questions. But that context, it means a lot. You know what I mean? All right. Name and answer.
Hi, my name is Farah, and I'm gonna say like a little story. I had an old friend, and she was Ghanaian, and we connected because we were both African, like we're the only like Africans in the school. And it was so sad because she looked me straight in my face one day and told me that she hated being African. And I was so sad, because like that kind of hurts my feelings too, you know? So I think as a descendant of Offa and of Nigeria, it's like our job to make sure that doesn't keep happening, that more kids don't keep coming here and hating their culture because of how America sees our culture at. So I think our job is just to make sure that people appreciate their culture and love their culture, and I of course love my culture.
So every 4 or 5, we'll give like a little summary of the stuff we've been saying. We're hearing a lot about being proud of where we're from. We've been hearing a lot about being able to sense the good in Offa, right, from people that have actually lived there as well. We've heard about countering bad rhetoric or bad language and narratives about where we're from as well. So a lot of pride. I've also heard some connections to our parents, right? Where you mentioned like, my parents may not see, but I love where I'm actually from. That's important. That's important. And there is a cultural schism, I think. All right.
Yes, thank you very much. And who am I as descendant?
Start with your name.
Oh, my name is Abdul Raji, and who am I as a descendant of Offa of Nigeria? I feel like I am a descendant of Offa of Nigeria, and I really like Nigeria and Offa, and I'm really proud to be a descendant, and really happy for the country and everything. I'm so happy for Nigeria, and I hope everybody has a great day. Hey, can I say a joke?
Go ahead.
Yeah, okay.
As long as it's
Okay, what do you call a cute door?
what?
Adorable.
What's your name again? Abdul? What's your name? Abdul, you're a pretty guy. Where you going?
I'm the cameraman.
No. You have a lot to say. Don't get it twisted. The cameraman sometimes has the most to say. Come on. Down the hill. Name?
I can give you one.
The torch. Let's go. Go.
So, I don't know what's also an answer. I don't know. So you're not sure.
Let's see your face.
I don't know that really. No, that's not true.
All I know is I'm from Nigeria.
That's good. No, that's real. So, so you know for sure where you're from, but the rest of it, it's kind of hard to put into words. Yeah. No, that's real. That's actually, we're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about exactly that. That's why I said before that I don't know is a valid answer. So now the cord only goes so far. No, it goes pretty far. Just on game.
Alright, so my name is Tabar Lawal, and right now I live in Brownsburg, and I moved here when I was 10 years old, and I'm 17 right now, so majority of my life was in Nigeria. We went back to Offa like for Eid every year, so I'm like we went different vacation with grandma, and I feel like when I first moved here, like especially with how bad of an image that was put on being African, I kind of just like honestly like hated and like just didn't want to have anything to do with it until probably my sophomore year, so like 2 years ago was when I started having courage, usually when my dad joined ODUNA, which was crazy because he went for the medical mission, he came back and like when we moved here, like the way like they just connected with ODU in Dallas, ODU first in Dallas, and like seeing how like people just came to help us like so fast, and we got on our feet, we were able to move, and like he was able to start a business and everything, and it was just like so inspiring. And I think that especially being a high school kid and being black, it was like mad inspiration. I was like, yeah, I have to like now. I have a Nigerian flag in my room. Like when we won state for football, like I made sure I was wearing the flag on my like I wore it like a cape, like to hold it. Like I have pictures and everything. I was like, yes, like I always have to represent. And, like I just want to say, like no matter what, we all have to remember where we're from and just continue what they did because without ODUNA, like I don't even think we would be where we're at today at all.
So you play sports?
Yeah.
You see, there's always something about people that play sports, they're like so passionate about everything. You know, that's really well said, man. Thank you.
My name is Bajal. As a descendant of Offa, I feel like I'm supposed to uphold the image of Offa and basically pass down the traditions that I've learned.
That's what you're supposed to do. So who are you? I didn't ask who you're supposed, I didn't ask about responsibilities. Who do you feel you are?
I feel like I'm I'm not sure.
I'm not sure. Valid answer. Thank you. Come on. We hear you. Give me your name and then who do you feel you are as a descendant of
I do. My name is Aaliyah Yakin.
Could you stand up a little bit so that we can see your face? It's okay, she's more comfortable.
And I feel like as a descendant of Nigeria, I feel like I'm supposed to like keep the traditions and like stuff.
Well, who do you feel you are?
I'm a good person.
Okay. Wow. That's good answer. So you feel being from afar means you are good.
Making me mad.
That's something there.
Yes.
No?
Yes.
My name is I forget her name. My name is Aisha, and for the first question, who am I as a descendant of Wow. So I just think like I know my culture and stuff. I don't really skip. Anyways, who am I as a representative of Offa? Well,
No. Just focus on question one. So who do you feel you are as a descendant of
I'm a good person.
Okay.
Wait, just
What about your friend in front of you?
forget
That's a chair.
You can't pass it to them.
So name and who you feel you are as a descendant of your father.
Making me mad.
I'll take it.
My name is Paul. Adolfo meeting is and my dad is Adolfo meeting, and my auntie, she to Adolfo meeting. She was there and do it every time. She take care of me when I was a little girl, when I was 1 year old. out your baby, and then my mom went to school, and then my uncle took care of me when I went to kindergarten.
Okay. So you went through the family tree. Who raised you? And that's the first thing you thought about when you thought about Offa. So that makes you think about community, heritage. I think there's something there too. Thank you. Be careful again with the wire. Let's not pull too far.
You come with this, bro. Microphone doesn't work.
Really? You type it?
My name's Jamal, and I was born in Offa.
So who do you feel that you are as a descendant of Offa?
I don't really know. I'm still here. I still can't come up with an answer.
Hopefully we'll have an answer by the time we answer. Okay.
Hello, my name is Hamida Kanu. So even though I was born here, I was raised here, in Houston, I was born in Houston, raised here. I've only ever been to Offa once, and that was actually last month. So, I went there, well, twice, but when I was younger, so I don't really remember it, but last month we went for Eid and everything, it was pretty fun. So, my dad, he's very involved in ODUNA, he talks about it, he goes to medical mission every year, he goes every January, he talks about it, he's very involved. So even though I wasn't born there, I wasn't raised there, I still feel like it's part of this home, I'm still Offa, I still appreciate being from Offa. And, just knowing that what they're doing, the medical mission, knowing what they're doing is just very inspiring. And as I even talked to my dad about it, I definitely want to do medical mission too, because I am a nurse, so I do want to participate in everything and to actually really do what they're doing, so. I feel happy to be from Offa.
Alright, so hi everyone. Okay. Alright, hi everyone. My name is Halima. I was actually born in Offa, so Halima, my sister. But yeah, so I was born in Offa, but I was raised in Houston. So I know I was always proud to say I was from Nigeria, but I never really felt connected to it, so I was raised here. Yeah, so we also moved together. We went to Nigeria last month, and I finally felt connected to the place I was born at. So seeing the hospital I was born at, seeing the place my parents were raised at, the struggles they went through to overcome, the struggles they're still going through. I really do enjoy learning about where I was born, where I'm from, and the story that came with it. So I actually feel connected to where I'm from. I can even say I'm more proud to be from Offa, and I'm proud of my family, all the stuff they've gone through. So who am I? I think I'm just the byproduct of all the people who came up from before me, basically.
Why do you go inside of your water?
Oh, you okay? Oh, is this water?
At this point, you should dump it.
Yeah, get some paper towels, guys. Oh, it's broken. Wow. Woman in STEM. Wonderful. I respect the mic, respect the mic.
Hello, everyone. My name is Halima. I'm so sorry. I'm very proud to be Nigerian. I almost ran. Y'all can hear me, right? Yeah.
Nah, low key, you can cut out. I don't want to say what your friend said, so I hope so.
I'm very proud of where I come from. I find every opportunity to talk about it and talk to people about it. And I feel like when I walk into a room, I very much have Yoruba features, even though I'm not American. But yeah, I'm proud of where I come from and I talk about it.
That's what I can do as a Nigerian, not
Okay.
but I can definitely do more.
Shit, everything what? See, there's something in there. Everybody trying to say like what they're supposed to be doing. I don't care about none of that. All the other stuff you said, that's what I care about. Like that way that you being agree with you, I'm definitely on the same wavelength right now about being very passionate and loving where you're from. I do want to bring back the aspects of features. Somebody take the white I do want to bring back the aspects of the features. When you walk into a room, people know you're Nigerian. There's something there I want to talk about a little bit. It's actually connected a little bit to my own answer of who I feel. It's a child. A little one. Are you ready?
I wasn't born in Nigeria, so I don't know. Because me and my family are traveling next month, and so
Okay, okay. All right, your turn.
I can.
Shoot.
Yeah.
You know, like, well, my experience, I graduated like a lot of kids in my school, they always tease me why I used to it. Like, they also, like, one thing, like, even like, as I'm being a Muslim, they also tease me for that too. Like, one kid kept, like, drawing a picture of the devil at first.
Yes, sir.
But I just didn't want to snap. I'm still out there.
Yo, hey guys, before we go to the next one, can we give a round of applause for like your determination to be proud of being Nigerian regardless of our going on? That's pretty cool. Hold on.
Hi, hello, my name is Iman, and who's my descendant of Offa. I've been very involved in ODUNA since I was a kid because of my dad, which you right over there. So, I
Real quick, your mic's on.
Yeah, my dad, so I've been a part of ODUNA since I was a kid, and like what he always say, he always goes back to the mission I'm so interested in, as well, which is giving back to the community, and I am proud to be Nigerian and that stuff. Who I am, people surround myself with as well, so that is for me, it's a big pleasure.
Hello, my name is Hamina Kamu, and I was born and raised in Houston, Texas. And
Houston, Texas?
Anyway, my sisters over there, and like they said, we're to Nigeria, I'd like to go. My first time being there, I went to Offa for the first time, and I saw like the community and everything. It's very tight over there, like everybody's friendly, helpful to one another. Y'all know each other, and I like fit in well because I'm like very also friendly as well. But I'm also proud to be part of Offa, and yeah, I'm proud of it.
I think you in the back. Person in the corner, you almost got away. I don't want no seats.
I put my name on the paper, so I can present it to her.
Hey, round of applause for this. So you just give us your name and who you feel you are as the Descendants.
And me.
That's enough. What's your name? Your name, my friend. Okay, your name and who you are as a descendant of Offa.
My name is Offa, and I really don't know.
Like I said, it's a valid answer. You don't know. That's okay. Are you ready? Okay. All right. Let's take the mic. Let's take the mic.
My name is Yusha and I know that I should be proud and welcome because I am a descendant of God. And I know that I should also be proud that I'm from Nigeria and I am who I am.
I am who I am. That is a great way to end things. I am who I am. So, I heard a lot. Thank you guys, by the way. One more round of applause for everyone. I heard a lot. I heard a lot of thoughts.
The mic.
I think it's let's focus. Attention up here. So I heard a lot from all of you, and we all had very different answers. Also, there's a similar thread between everything. Some of it was about where we actually currently live right now. We're in the States, we're in America. A lot of us were raised there all our lives, or a decent portion of it at this point. There's a counter culture, so to speak. I was born in 1994, which is really old something. And back then, being African, sorry. But back then, being African was not cool. It was not cool at all. Had African booty scratchers. And y'all were the traumatized. Yo, it's tough like to be a kid. But I heard all that stuff. Being my son was actually also very tough. My last name was Avocado. I was in second grade when I learned the jokes that I got. It was actually very good jokes. So it was funny because it wasn't just jokes. It was actually kind of scary. What was the point, man? Sorry, Mike, I don't need to call you out. But I'll never forget my mom saying she changed her last name. That's actually like a lot to deal with growing up. So there's been a lot of forces that tell us that we shouldn't be proud of who we are. I didn't hear a single person say they're not proud of who they are. So that is important. Run of applause for that. We are all proud to be proud. Now, what does it mean to be these things? So that is the question. That is the question. Something that I was hearing, Halima said that she has very low features. So when she walks in, people already know she's at least Nigerian. And people can tell if you're Nigerian, they can tell you're Yoruba or Hausa or Igbo. It's not that difficult. Just sit enough in West Africa. All have very Nigerian features. I have a Nigerian name. There's a certain aspect of this that we can't escape. We can't escape it, whether you want to or not. You from that, right? And that's why it's all the more important that we actually make it. We have a relationship with it on our own terms. ODUNA cannot tell us who we are. Neither your roommates, your classmates, the foolish bullies that don't know nothing about nothing, they can't tell you who you are. It's really about who you feel you are, which is why those answers, I don't know, are actually extremely valid. You shouldn't ever be afraid to say, I don't know something. Fools are afraid to admit when they don't know something. If you don't know something, that's actually the first step. That's you acknowledging that I don't know something now, but I may know something in the future, right? And so plenty of people here have a strong sense of self and identity. That's why we're in this room together. Because we don't have to stand independent of each other. We can bleed that identity, that shared experience into one another. We can kind of gain something from it. So my own answers of who I feel I am as a descendant of Offa. Brash. Oh, that's a SAT question. I be kind of heady, egotistical a little bit, which kind of sounds crazy to say. It sounds like I'm being negative, but I relate to what's your name, bro? The glasses, Houston, Texas. Me. Me. I'm sorry. You seem cool. That's why we come home for you. I'm sorry. But Lee was like, yo, when I was in Offa, I felt like I was seeing kindred spirits. I felt the same thing, eerily so. Me, my brother, and my sister, but not digital, yes. But me and my other two siblings, we were all there together in January for medical issue. And there were certain things, idiosyncrasies, that we were like, yo, this is kind of tripping me out. I say ego, but there's also love. So I was seeing my cousins and friends of them and everything from Offa, and I'm like, oh yeah, we really think we're the best thing. This also is a Nigerian. We think we're so amazing. Because we love ourselves. We have a good self-esteem. But then the love that we showed each other, I'm like, yo, I still out too much when it comes to how I love my friends, my family. But then I'm there, like, that's just the norm. That's just the norm. So these are tiny, tiny things, but when we see them reflected by the people that you don't know, they just come from the same place, it roots you. It roots me. Roots me. And so when I was in Offa, I felt really, really connected to the land. I really felt comfortable where I was in a way I never felt comfortable before. I was also dead tired, so I don't know if it has something to do with it. Maybe like low stamina. There might be some type of warfare going on. I don't know. But it felt right, it felt good. And that's what brought me here to be able to talk to you guys. So we're going to skip who am I as a representative of Offa because I think in our answers we kind of already did that a little bit, but we don't have so much time left. I want to go into what do we want. What do I want? I actually want to answer that first. I'll change the script on you guys and answer that first. One thing I noticed while I was in Offa is how little I knew. Again, I don't know this was a good answer. How little I knew. I was being told so many stories about where Offa had its name, about some of the legends of Offa. You guys know who Princess Morani is? Raise your hand if you know who Princess Morani is. Yeah? Princess Morani is considered a Yoruba, Princess Yoruba queen. She's a legend. She's a legend. There was a point that Yoruba land was at war for the kingdom of the north. And so Princess Morani and her kingdom, they devised a cunning plan where she would narrate into that kingdom, pretend that she was giving them. We will marry to them, things they were. Meanwhile, the entire time she was there, she was learning. She's looking at all the secret messages, seeing how they know the world, you see how they fight, see how they organize. Escaped, came back to her outlet and said, and they throttled her. They destroyed her. They wrecked her. There's a statue. She's not just an Offa legend, she's a Yoruba legend. Because remember, I don't know if this is too critical, but Nigeria is low-key, like another little country. The reason I say that is because it was a bunch of kingdoms that could have crossed together through colonization, right? The people that called Nigerians in the past, they didn't decide they wanted to call Nigerians. Europe, they decided it was Nigeria. So Yoruba land was a different place, right? And that became part of what Nigeria as we know it is today. So I'm telling you that your Offa, heroes, your Offa descendants, are legends that go beyond the creation of Nigeria. They go further back than Nigeria itself. The history that we all have is deep, it's powerful, and it's not something to underestimate. So I was there and I found out about this and I was like, why have I heard this in my life? This is insane. I found some other stuff about my family. Apparently, my last name is recent. Abdul Qadir, I think it was either grandpa or great grandpa that became Abdul Qadir. We were actually Adeboye, which is an old Offa name. One of the old kings was Adeboye. So his first name was Abdul Qadir, his last name was Adeboye. Never recent, great grandpa. Look, the screw. My brother, he's like, okay, more tapped into Yoruba, like Nigerian lore, Nigerian ancestry, Nigerian traditional, history. And he was like, yo, I've been looking for this all my life. So I was studying what it meant to be Nigerian. I didn't know why my last name was so Muslim. Like, not that strong, it's just that I couldn't connect to any certain place in Nigeria because it's Muslim. That wasn't originally Nigerian. Islam also came to Nigeria for many, many years. And so when we found out, oh, wow, that's technically Adeboye, which is an old Nigerian name, he was like, yo, I'm kind of shook. So for me, something I want to know is to know my roots. I kind of want to understand where I really come from, what that actually means. This is kind of like a teaser, but I do plan on going back to Nigeria, and I'm going to shoot like a little short documentary about figuring out why my grandpa, or my grandpa, I can't remember what he wants to do, well, why he changed his last name. I think it's great. Not to get too into the deets, that's something on my mind, but Adeboye, like the king, one of the kings of Offa, he actually had to escape north. But he had to run away north. And so the north is where there's a lot of Muslims in Islam. There's a lot of communities in Islam originating in the north. And so I don't know, maybe trying to fit in, trying to hide many pieces, or maybe he really felt pulled by the faith. I don't know, the Bible's like that. So that's my selfish want. I have other ones that have to do with all of you, that have to do with ODUNA. But truly for myself, I just want to understand where I come from a little bit more than today. So when I ask you to answer what do you want, if you feel compelled, feel free to mention ODUNA, feel free to mention your organization, because I think that is also valid. We need people to really put that first in order to be organized. But I ask them to be honest. I ask them, you tell me really what you want, tell us, I'm not really talking about this. Tell us what you want as a Nigerian or as a Descendant for you. Bishop?
So one of my, biggest fears when it comes to being a second-gen immigrant is losing the culture, with the next generations that come forward. Especially because, I don't know if I'm gonna, marry a Nigerian or have kids with a Nigerian or an American or whatever. But, it does scare me that, what if in 20 years or whatever, I still don't know so much about myself that when my kids do ask me questions like, where am I from? And maybe they can't go to grandma or grandpa or whatever. I need to be able to answer those questions because I want to raise my children Nigerian. And I'm super I don't know, one of my biggest priorities are family values and stuff like that. So I think I want to learn, what you said, learn more about who I am, my ancestry, so I can tell stories and I can sit my kids down and have deep conversation with them and make them think too about who are you. Identity is super important. So what I want is really to strengthen my identity and be able to answer those questions who are you really, and go back and tell me the story of how you came to be. Yeah.
So to make this go a little bit quicker, I'm going to ask you guys to come up this time to the mic. So you'll come up next, and then you. How much time do you have to do?
20.
Alright, so we're gonna have to be a little bit quicker this time, unfortunately. I don't want to rush you guys to necessarily out. Okay. And my workers next, get ready to come and take the mic from her.
Alright, so I want to be more intact with my culture. I definitely want to learn more about who I am and where I'm from. Because I'm going to keep it real. I didn't know what Offa was. I know I was from there, I didn't know nothing about it. until I met this organization. And I'm so glad I did, because I definitely want to know more about my culture, more about where I'm from, and I want to make sure that my children also know, because I want like my culture to bring them, have they to know, they know everything. Yeah.
You're dead. What you trying
What I really want what I want for the future with me is, living in Nigeria, even when I lived in Nigeria, I also had friends who were as connected to the culture, and I felt as though like the culture, as time passes on, the culture gets super diluted. Like even some kids don't even, who like live in Nigeria don't even know how to speak about like currently. And so what I want for myself is to not let the culture around me define my identity as a Nigerian, and to uphold myself as someone who's from Offa and someone who's of the Yoruba culture. And just because I see like the culture around me is getting like, no offense, whitewashed and like all that, I'm not gonna let myself fall victim to said whitewashing and gentrification. I'm not gonna let my culture get diluted, and I want to be able to pass that on to the future and the people who are coming behind me.
Like touching on what you said earlier, like every time I think of myself in the future, I'm talking to my kids like Yoruba. I'm talking to them about Nigeria and stuff. And so I definitely want to immerse myself more in the culture, like learn Yoruba. Like that's like the first step. And of course, last time I was in Nigeria, I was literally 2 years old. Like I don't remember anything. And so I'd like to go back, just learn more about the culture, definitely help out because I know it's not as privileged as it is over here, and learn more about where I come from.
What do I want as a descendant of Offa Nigeria is to go to Offa because I've only went to Nigeria and it's like every summer. I didn't go this summer, but I want to go and visit Offa and see how it is there and see the people there. Because I mean, they're still like Nigerians. Like I still go to Nigeria, but like I don't go to Offa. Okay.
I'm still trying to figure out what I want to do in the future, for my culture, tradition. And I want to learn more about my Nigerian roots. That's basically it.
So basically, pretty much what I want is I just feel like, especially for my future, because I talked to my mom about this a lot actually. I want them to know Yoruba. Like that's the main thing. I feel like just knowing the language is gonna be like it's gonna be the foundation. Like, 'cause when you know the language, then you could explore when you meet the people, you can speak it. When you go back to visit, you're able to talk to everyone, you're able to teach your kids. Like the one thing I am proud of saying, even like I've been here for like 7 years now, I am proud of like I still, because I was living there for so long, I speak Yoruba like semi-fluently. So when she brought that up, like I make sure like when I'm home, if I tell my mom, my dad, I'm speaking Yoruba. My grandma's around right now, so like talk to her Yoruba every like so. Just learning Yoruba is the one thing I want, so we can do that foundation for
Yeah, guys, everybody needs to go next, so if you'll be next, I think.
What I want in my future is I want to know the history of Offa and be more informed about Offa. I also want to learn better so I will focus on relatives in Nigeria that I can communicate with them with.
I want to learn about my ancestors and like my grandparents and stuff. And I also want to learn about like the language because there's some people that are like living in Nigeria or from there that don't know the language or speak it.
True.
I agree with my sister because what's the point of listening to family drama if you can't understand it? And sometimes, like, at this moment, I like to think, like, if we were in Nigeria, banks right now, what would we be doing? Sleeping, so.
And
That's what you want.
And my future is going to Nigeria every time we'll see, eating and buying something and getting a lot of money to get one to go every time is you see your family and your grandmother and everything that's it.
So you want to be able to visit Offa more often, go see grandma, visit the family, see community. Okay, it's good.
I want you to get connected to the culture of Offa and learn more about and just go to Nigeria more and be more connected to Offa.
For me, I definitely want to learn more about the culture and tradition. I feel like being with some that's overshadowed like learning more about the Yoruba traditions and culture. So definitely going to Nigeria and learning more about that, just seeking out information.
Okay, I also said earlier, I also want to know about my culture, know about my language, because I don't want my kids to not understand Yoruba. I can understand it, I can speak it too, but I don't want my kids to just speak English, I want it to be bilingual. So yeah, that's what I want. I just want to continue the culture and the tradition.
Alright, so I guess so much what everyone said, so I can understand Yoruba, but I can't speak it, so definitely learn a little bit more about how to speak the language that I can speak it to my kids. Also just learn more about the, my Yoruba culture, where I'm from, and then lastly, just to give back to like Offa and the people who are from there, just to help support them.
Yes.
What I want is to actually go there because I've never been there, like ever. And like I'm pretty sure we were like supposed to go in like 2020, but COVID came. But like I remember like me and my sister, like we were very excited to go. Like we like packed like before it was even confirmed that we were going. Like, we were just excited. I just wanted to go there.
Yeah.
That's all.
Okay. Let's go.
I want to like know like more about my culture, like know who my ancestors were, and like know more about.
Similar to what everybody else says, like I want to pass on the culture to my children. And I definitely don't want it to be a thing of like they forget who they are and they're American first before they are Nigerian. Like that is also part of being part of their identity, and that's not. I don't want anyone to forget.
Alright, so I do want to learn more about my culture, pass it down to my children, and I also want to put in an effort to do so because, you know, like I do want to, in the past, I have always wanted to learn about it, but I'll put in an effort to do so, so I do want to work on it, and yeah. Alright.
Let's see the world. Yeah. Just tell us what you want as a descendant of Offa.
To learn about my heritage.
How? What do you want to learn about heritage? That's good. Do you know that's called your compound? Who knows what compound we're from? Hey! Okay. No.
Offa and Adoption.
No. That's something that we can all learn all the time. So the compound is literally where in our the family is from. Where are you from? Where are you from? The same place. Where's the wife? Yeah, I'm doing well. And we got some new guests in the room. Round of applause for the new homies. Alright, I'm gonna put you on the spot when you want to stop now. So if you miss a little bit, we won't have you up to speed. So we answered these 3 questions. The first 2 probably could have done better in the concept. But it's essentially, you get an opportunity to describe who you feel you are as a descendant of Offa. So we had a lot of people say, speak about their heritage, speak about their families, immediately something about my grandma, dad, aunties, speak about the love that they see. I said, I spoke about the ego, because I think as being a descendant of Offa, you kind of have big egos, but I also spoke about love. You also very different people. So we want to hear a little bit about that from you. And then we want to hear about what you want as a descendant of Offa. And it can be anything. It doesn't have to do anything to do with ODUNA. That sentence came out with the film. So yeah, would you guys come up one by one, say your name, and answer those 2 questions for us? Okay, round of applause for
Hello, my name is Sarah. I'm now a descendant of Offa compound. Yes, Kwara State. Who am I as a representative of? I'll say that I'm just like, well, I'm a representation of like how my parents raised me and like putting like all the stuff they taught me growing up and like trying to back into the culture and like visiting Nigeria and all that aspects and stuff like that. And what I want for the future. Yeah, some people already said like I want to learn more about like, the language of as a Black woman, the Yoruba and everything. So I didn't know the world language, so I should ask my kids and be more comfortable going to Nigeria and speaking to them.
all right. Thank you. Which one of the 2 of you all want to go next? We got you on multitasking.
Okay.
Let's have a round of applause for our friend from Kwara State.
Hello, I'm Ashia. So who am I as a representative of Offa? Well, I was born there, so I wear that with pride on my birth certificate. And Offa to me is a community. Forever we've been always getting together, so it was a big thing because there's not that many other like cities in Nigeria, so it's nice. Which my wants, well, I don't want my Nigerian heritage to die down and be diluted. I want it to be kept, basically. So that's it.
And then our last newcomer, and then there was one, the fated one, the destined one, the chosen one. I have a feeling it's gonna be the best one of all the ones today. He's taking his time, he's teasing us, okay. This is how a real superstar acts, like this is a true roster. Alright, yeah, round of applause.
My name is Red. As a descendant of Offa, I was born and raised in America. My parents taught me a lot of culture. Who am I? Who am I?
Everyone knows also.
Yeah. I'm sure I'm learn more about my culture.
We did it. How much time do we have? Are we over?
Like 6 minutes.
Can I just have it?
We need to wrap up. Okay. Yes. So there's a couple things I want to go through. One of them is actually a legacy. One second. So guys, some of the work has already been done for us. When we were in Nigeria, one of my friends who was African American, descendants of slaves, he wanted to learn more. He was basically my BTS director, behind the scenes. So he was doing all the footage of what it was like on set. And he's like, yo, let me just Google Offa. He's like, yo, you know there's a whole website about you guys? What do you mean? And they came up to this. I don't even know who did this, by the way. This has so much information. This has the anthem of Offa. Offa, that is bad, I can't sing, but basically the anthem. This is not really, the history. I think Moses' Morgan is actually mentioned somewhere around here. So this website has a lot of stuff already about Offa. So, oh yeah, there it is actually. Princess Morgan, Princess of the Yoruba, is a figure of high significance in the history of the Yoruba peoples. There are people out there in the world already that are taking full advantage of what they have available to them to try to archive what they're doing. So this is good. That means that a lot of what we're talking about when it comes to heritage, other people are trying to do the same thing. Now, one of the reasons I asked everybody what they want is to make this community, this small community, really, really useful. So I heard a couple things. Connection to heritage, right? Which was kind of rooted in history, facts, traditions. I heard Yoruba, the language itself, right? Learning Yoruba is really hard by yourself, by the way. You'll see where I'm going with this. I think that was the main thing. Is there something I'm missing? Okay, those are the two main things. So we have to come to a conclusion. We have to strategize about this. How do we try to maintain some of this stuff with each other? But also, you as an individual have to ask yourself, how do I bring this into my own life? Right? There are Yoruba teachers out there that you can personally book. We can talk about trying to do it together, but don't let this stop you, right? As I showed you, there's a whole website where you can start learning about your history and learning about your heritage. You can do that tonight. You don't need me. I already told you I'm going back. I already told you I'm going back, so you can't steal it. I'm going back, I'm gonna go figure out why my uncle or my great-grandpa changed his last name. I'm gonna do all of that. So you can't steal it. That's my story. You guys don't have the same great-grandpa's. That's me. So y'all gotta figure out how you wanna do it. It's up to you guys to figure out where you bring yourself into this entire story. Right? That's your job. The one job you have is a commitment to yourself. Let's see, what else? I don't really got a couple minutes left. So one thing I hope to do tomorrow on our last day is actually kind of an art project of my own. I brought my cameras, I brought my gear, and I would love to interview some of you guys, kind of in the same vein. We're doing a large project about Nigerian Americans, about Descendants, and really I did all this stuff about the older generation and about what they've done, but I'm more interested about us and what we want to do, who we are. So if you're interested in being interviewed, let me know. We'll try to get it done like first half of this by tomorrow, because some of my gear is rented anyways. I can fly in, so I have to give it back before I think 5 o'clock. So let me know if that's something you're interested in. Number 2, New Okeem, that's the film that I shot in January, and it's not done. Some of the work that's still necessary is research, actually. Some deep research, deeper than this website really allows. And if you're interested in working on that, hit me up. We're always looking for people to like join the team, for lack of a better word. So if you'd like to get involved, you'd like to even, honestly, if you just are curious about what the process was, yeah?
If you say yes, will you fly us?
No. All right. Curious about what the process was. Let me know. I'm very open to talking about it. I'll talk about it forever. I guess the last thing is, you guys want to see a little bit of the film?
Yeah.
Just some of it?
Yes.
So this is sizzle reel. Sizzle reel is like before a trailer. Sizzle reel is what we send to different individuals that can help us, raise funds for the film, get interest in the film, Question?
I didn't Netflix.
On Netflix? Man, that helped me. I wish. If I had that, I am flying both of you to Nigeria. I promise you that. But oh shit. But sorry, language. All right, let me see. Alright, I gotta go get the SD card. I'll be right back. I gotta get my card.
I have something very important to say. That's not a joke. I'm going to say. So can I get the speech? Yeah. No, I have to say. Yeah, maybe I can. You don't sit down.
Okay.
I got the joke, guys.
No, you sit down.
He said I can say my joke. He said I can say my joke.
Your joke?
Yes.
Joke was
Oh, I got it. 5 dollars. Okay. The first show is why don't fish play basketball? Why? Because they're scared of the nigga. Okay, second finish it.
I'm gonna finish it. Alright,
It could go worldwide. Wow, dramatic. Wow.
10 years. So, what's the microphone?
Bro, we could put that on right on that wall. Yeah.
Alright, you might just have to do it off the phone, off the laptop.
Well, you got like, for the speaker, like, they're just speakers, you know?
Yeah, someone's like,
Like, on the mics and
Hey, so what's the one? I'm surprised you Wow.
This audio is out, we accidentally turned it off before I pushed play, but just pretend you hear it.
And we have energy, we are proud, we are so, we can benefit, well, that's I want to that we're not doing, we're not letting go of
Alright, that's it. So that
Did you
was.
start the real movie?
Huh?
You started like the real movie?
What do you mean?
This is the trailer.
Yeah, it sounds like a trailer are funny.
Okay, you started the real movie.
Yes,
This
Oh, wait. If you can't fly me out to Nigeria, I'll have to take one.
Take something else,
Alright guys, I think we're done for the day, but thank you guys so much for giving me the time to speak school.
And then turn around with applause. Excellent job, guys. And the good thing here is that, you know, just go ahead.
I remember my question. How long did that take you to make?
What part? What do you mean?
Like that trailer.
Oh, it's a trailer part? That took about 4 weeks. So we basically have like I think about 6.5 terabytes of footage. So you have to match the audio, you have to color grade, which that color grading actually just finished very recently. There's like a lot of clips that are missing. There's an additional cut of it I'm gonna actually be showing tomorrow during the I think the party. Yeah, the party will be on the yeah, it's a question.
The people like in there, you have their consent to film.
Correct, yes.
Do they get paid?
No, because that would mean that would take away from the actual like how do I put this? The authenticity of the work. Because then people can look at that like, oh, they didn't need to say that they said that because they're gonna get paid in the first place. In audio archiving, documentary archiving, and all of that, you have to actually provide a form for consent. Otherwise, technically, the work you've done is kind of rendered moot. Anybody who film or record can come back and say, I don't want that being out there. And it will essentially destroy the project. And it's also a surprise thing to do, to make sure that somebody is consenting to be filmed or recorded. So yes, it's always consent.
Did you get consent for that?
Did you talk? Yeah. Yeah, we talked.
Thank you so much, Victoria. And you see, tomorrow we are going to be in this whole room. We'll remove this divider tonight, so it's going to be more people. We are going to continue this culture thing, and now we're speaking about the culture diversification tomorrow. And you see how this time. I'm so proud of you guys because everyone who has spoken is thinking about culture. And data here, last year, if you're looking for an exemplary, someone you want to look up to, for research, for, anything cultural, you can, and Ryan is part of the executive, you can ask him questions, you can share your thoughts with him, and the good thing is everybody who has spoken, we're thinking about your culture. That is something you can never lose. Because it doesn't matter even if you're 100 years old in America, you will always be a Nigerian in America. So you can't lose that part of it. So I'm glad that you all are thinking like that. And that's something to your advantage. There's something about that culture, that heritage that will keep you going. When things are tough, the Nigerian in you will kick it. You will see, as you grow older, and this country will mature, the Nigerian in you will kick it. It's a survival instinct. And make you to blaze through any obstacles. So I'm really glad. Keep it up. You have an ambassador among you. Even if you feel confused, I can see why. Throw questions that people like Tola, any one of the adults, and ask. I'm thinking like this. Josh, is this, should I do this, should I do that? And how do you, I'm proud of that young woman that said,
Which one?
I forgot his name, that I said, they made fun of him in school. But he doesn't care. That is power right there. We don't let people say because you are who you are. Don't let anybody convince you otherwise. And you have your own part to play in this world. It doesn't matter what people think. You are here for a purpose. And that's what you have to think about. And the culture that you're born into, you see, that's a divine thing. You didn't choose that. Nobody chose where you were going to be born. But once you're born there, that means there's a purpose. So hold that firm. And there's something about Offa. Trying to get into the history That website that Adetola showed, I think, once you guys get into that WhatsApp group chat, or just paste it there so that everybody can see. And also on the ODUNA.org, there's some history about the past things, the names of all the compounds. They have about 200 compounds there. There are other things on that website too. Don't start looking into it. Ask questions. If you have ever heard of the movie Roots, that movie liberated a lot of African Americans in this country. That's what got them thinking. And we have a lot of African Americans now tracing their roots back. They're visiting Nigeria, going to Ghana to see where the slaves were, when they pushed them to the ocean and they call it the gate of no return, something like that. So, yes. So, these things, they might hold on to it. It doesn't matter what you do, whether you have American accent or you change it and double it and have a British accent, you can never be a white person. So you have to own who you are. Be proud, walk tall, walk into any room. There's something about being a Nigerian that the entire globe respects. Call it arrogance, call it confidence, it really doesn't matter. What matters is that we walk into it and we're not shy. We walk into that place and we own it. Like Johnny Divine, what's wrong? That confidence is there. Be proud of it. That will keep you going in your school, in your community, in your So please keep that. So now,
I have two questions.
yes.
Number one, the prices.
Okay. Yeah. About the prices. So what's going to happen?
Let's have a round of applause for Auntie for coming.
So what's going to happen now is that two things. Time is 5:46. So we'll wrap this up. Everybody will go. But we all have to come back to this hall. By the time we come back, will be a big hall, right? This thing, they remove the divider. So that I think the pageants and the show, the fashion show, will start at 6:30.
Y'all got it.
And then there'll be prizes. Everybody, if you have not written your name in the attendance sheets, please do. Because everyone present will get a prize. And those who participate in the beauty pageant and the fashion show will also get a prize.
What's the prize? What's the prize?
Oh, it's a secret. But I appreciate you guys.
You said and then come back to
Yeah, it looks like a chain. Yes. Maybe it's not very fast. But you are participating. Everybody should just come at 6:30. Make sure if you're participating in the beauty pageant and the fashion show, you can just wear whatever you have. But then I'll give you the logistics of things. So thank you all for coming. Thank you for this great day. I appreciate you all. Love you all. And